Today is day 29, Sagittarius, of Tapping into Miracles and Magic, which is a tarot series that I have centered around the magician. And today, the magician wants you to hear, job well done, Sagittarius. Job well done. You have been tapping into the deepest parts of yourself, pulling up the dead roots, unearthing the self-defeating narratives, and letting go of the illusions that kept you small. That is no easy task. If it were easy, the world would be perfect, right? But you have been doing it. You have been fighting tooth and nail. You have been in the dirt. You have been under the bed fighting with the monsters. You have been in the closet pulling out the skeletal bones, looking at them, examining them, and letting go of what you needed to let go of. So, job well done. Okay. The magician wants you to hear that this is why you are able to tap into miracles and magic with ease, okay? Because you came to realize that holding on to the weight, the mental, the emotional weight, the energetic weight that you were holding on to was keeping you disconnected from the very best parts of yourself, okay? And now that you have let it all go, it's time for you to soar. The first card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the death card, okay? And through the death card, the magician is speaking to the fact that you are being prepared, Sagittarius, to go your own separate way, okay? This is the moment on the timeline where you are cutting ties. This is the moment on the timeline where you are moving forward. This is the moment on the timeline where cycles are coming to a complete stop, okay? This is the moment on the timeline where endings are taking place. Okay, Sagittarius, you have been living under your shadow's command, which was living under the command of someone else's shadow. Okay, and that cycle is coming to an end because you've been tapping in, doing the work, unearthing, pulling up the dead roots. That cycle where you were living under your shadow's command is coming to an end. You've been realizing that, oh, I wasn't just living under my shadow's command. I'm recognizing and realizing that my shadow was living under the command of someone else's shadow. So you're beginning to make the separation. You're beginning to pull apart. You're beginning to realize that all of it was necessary in order for you to come back home to yourself. Okay, you are breaking free, and it's happening because you finally decided that you no longer want to betray yourself, okay, which is another narrative that you are letting go of. This narrative, this story, this pattern of self betrayal, you are letting that go. You are moving on from that pattern. You are kissing that pattern goodbye. Okay, that is a cycle that is coming to an end. That is a cycle that is coming to a completion, that cycle of self-betrayal. Okay. You are breaking up with who you used to be. And that is what the death card is speaking to. You have been doing the work. You have been putting forth the effort to break up with yourself, and you're finally doing it. You're finally doing it. You are finally making the decision to say, you know what? This relationship has to end. And the second card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the King of Coins. Okay. And through the King of Coins, again, just reiterating what was underneath, coming through with the death card. Okay. You are breaking up with who you used to be. And this is why you are coming into a place of experiencing a new kind of stability. Okay. Stability is being established through you. Okay. Moving on from living under your shadow's command, which was living under the command of someone else's shadow, is why you are coming into a place of experiencing a new kind of stability. Because here's the thing, Sagittarius, for a very long time, you thought you had to hustle, you thought you had to grind, you thought you had to work hard and put forth a lot of effort in order to come into this place of stability. But you're realizing, you're finding that the deeper you went into yourself, even though the things in the external world may have seemed chaotic, you're finding that the deeper you went into yourself, the more peace you found. You found this place of stillness within yourself. Even though you could look out at the external world, even though you may have looked at your bank account, you may have looked at, whatever evidence, physical evidence you thought you had in the material world to prove that there's this insecurity and instability, you're starting to let that go because you're realizing that, oh, the deeper I go within myself, the more that I connect with that still calm place within myself, the more I feel stable. And you're starting to ground into that even more. Okay. You're also realizing, okay, that, and not even just realizing, but you're also accepting and finally standing firmly in the fact, in the awareness that you are the main authoritative figure and voice in your life. Okay. And you are honoring what your soul values over validation and being liked or understood by others, which is a major key whenever it comes to tapping into miracles and magic, right? Okay. This is the moment on the timeline where you are finally leading your life with confidence and you are witnessing yourself flourish because the trust that you've put in yourself, the trust that you have in yourself can no longer be shaken. And the last card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message is the Six of Wands. Okay. And through the Six of Wands, the magician is acknowledging that balance is being restored for you. Okay. Balance is being restored. That equilibrium within yourself is being restored. That inner harmony, this is what you've been working towards. You're finally settling into it. You're finally allowing it to be the reality that you dwell in, right? And over the next few weeks, because of this balance being restored, you will start to feel lighter. Okay. You'll also start to walk with your head up again. Your spine will become even more erect. Okay. Because again, you're feeling balance from the inside out. You're experiencing this balance within yourself and externally it's shifting things for you, okay? This is because victory was always yours, Sagittarius, and all you had to do in order to receive it was believe that it was possible for you to break free. And you have been believing in that possibility for years. Even in the moments when you didn't really know how to break free, you still believed that that it was possible. You still had the faith to pursue the process of breaking free, even though you didn't have other people showing you how to do that, right? You still had the faith that it was possible. You still believed that it was possible. And even though you've had to grind and push through it for a few years, here you are. Okay. Over the next few weeks, Sagittarius, you will be called into celebration with yourself and possibly with others. Okay. You will walk into these celebrations fully prepared to give, to plan, to make arrangements, which is what you're used to doing, right? You are the party person. You love planning. You love putting together all the arrangements and making all the plans, right? But the universe is going to take care of all of that for you. Okay. Proving that this moment on the timeline is one where you finally begin to find pleasure in living a life of effortlessness and ease. The bonus card that we have coming through to wrap up the message for day 29 is the Nine of Wands. Okay. And through the Nine of Wands, you're needing to be reminded that the finish line is just ahead, Sagittarius. So do not give up now. Okay. I'm receiving this visual of a track meet happening. Okay. It's the final race, which is the 4x400 race, and you are the very last leg. Okay. You have trained and you have prepared to complete the race with a victory. So do not give up now. Just because one little misstep might happen here and there, right? Which the missteps aren't happening as often as they used to. And when they did happen in the past, you would be out for weeks, for months. Now give you 2 or 3 days and you're back on it, right? So remember that you have trained and you have been prepared to complete the race, okay? This is the moment on the timeline where you want to ensure that you are taking proper care of your mind and your body and your spirit so that when you round the corner, it's your face that the crowd is seeing first, right? You have the stamina, you have the willpower, and you have the support. You just have to hold fast to your faith. So that is the message for day 29 of Tapping into Miracles and Magic. If this message resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. I appreciate you so much for being here. We are almost done. We only have one more reading left in this series. I hope that it has been exactly what you needed it to be. I want to invite you to join me for the Archer's Reiki Circle, which is a weekly offering that I host every Sunday morning, specifically for Sagittarius individuals. If you would like to join that, you can send me a message and I'll send you the link. I love you so very much. And I appreciate you for being present with me.